it's psychology. It's a lot of things. The art of pro wrestling, we're at a very difficult stage right now because there are very few of us that really know how to work that art. And it's up to us to teach the younger generation before it gets lost entirely. I don't want pro wrestling to be a bunch of spot fests, you know? I want guys telling good stories and making everything mean something.
Meanwhile...
Who do you fucking do that shit? Oh, no! What?
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm bringing you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Link is down in the description box below. This is coming directly from Wrestle Talk as a source in regards to the actual excerpt in itself. WWE's Booker T comments on Jon Moxley getting the spike stuck in his back on AEW Dynamite. If you haven't noticed, there's a trend currently going on at the moment because there's a bunch of veterans talking about how fucking dumb this spot was. But as I said, Booker T gives his take on it, and I quote, "It's not my cup of tea, I'll tell you that right now. I don't think I've seen anything quite that gory inside of a match. I mean, come on, what are you gonna do next? Shoot yourself? Bring a gun in and just shoot me? When you're working with something like that and you have vital organs, because it looked like it hurt, alright? It looked like it was something that was very, very painful. And my thing is, I don't care what these guys do. I don't want to say anything negative to AEW or anything like that because I know I'm gonna get all kinds of crazy heat for doing that. But I do want to caution these young guys that are going out there doing this kind of stuff. Maybe they're not thinking about what they're gonna do after this wrestling thing is all over with. Maybe they're not thinking about their bodies and how they're gonna feel when they do get a little bit older and carrying these scars for the rest of their lives. And one day they're gonna wake up one day and they're gonna say, what the hell was I thinking doing something like that? I questioned Darby Allin the first time I met him. He did the coffin drop and I was like, kid, what are you thinking? So I'm cautious when anybody does this kind of stuff because I know how I feel at 60. Me personally, I'm gonna tell you right now, I feel pretty damn good in comparison to what these guys are gonna be going through when they hit that age. I seriously caution going out and doing something like that. It looked like he would have to go to the hospital to get himself checked out after something like that. Now, you guys tell me, that's the end of it right there. Did Booker T trash AEW? Did Booker T go after any of the superstars? Did he provoke any of the superstars? Did he say anything negative about the superstars? Did he say anything bad about Tony Khan? No. No. He didn't. You didn't hear anything bad about that, right? Now, I'm not going to read any of these psychopaths' names, but I just want to kind of give you an example of some of the things that were said directly underneath that post. And you can read it for yourself. Give it a rest, Booker, with a yawn emoji. Of course, Booker T doesn't like hardcore spots. He's too busy gooning over the fucking women. What the fuck? Of course, Booker T doesn't like hardcore spots. He's too busy gooning over fucking the NXT women's locker room. This is what they're saying. Booker T gives, like, not even criticism necessarily. He just gives a cautionary tale about what can happen to a wrestler if they continue doing spots like this. This doofus, this dumb fuck, he gives a gif. He's like, I mean, and then he highlights Mick Foley getting thrown off the Hell in a Cell. Like, I would like to think that this guy is legitimately suggesting that, hey, you know, Mick Foley getting thrown off the Hell in a Cell is one of those examples. But when I actually click on the post in itself, it seems like, especially considering that he's not necessarily talking back, it seems like he's calling Booker T a hypocrite. As if to highlight WWE did spots like this and you're not calling them out. Never mind the fact that Mick Foley getting thrown off the Hell in a Cell was 27 years ago. And that's literally one of Booker T's examples as to his generation feeling bad in comparison to him. As he noted, like these people, I swear, they're so ass backwards. They're so ass backwards with the way that they think. I'm not even understanding anymore. What are you doing? So what you're saying is like, yeah, the AEW wrestlers should just continue going out there and just like putting their body on the line. Look at this guy, kayfabe. The spikes are fake. I don't even know what to say anymore. After a certain point, like, look at this guy. What's up with the whiny babies watching wrestling? Go back to ballet and soap operas, kiddies. The grown-ups are watching TV. He says this with an anime poster, by the way. That's his PFP. His PFP is... Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's a picture of the egg noodle meme guy. With just animation. I don't... It's wild. It's actually wild seeing some of these takes. And obviously, you know, it's going to come from the closed-minded AEW fanboys. You know, like the ones who legitimately will see any criticism in regards to AEW and they just take that shit to fucking heart. They take that shit to heart. And if you criticize anything that just is basic common sense and basic common knowledge about what is good and what is bad, like we're not even talking about AEW anymore in the sense of like just criticizing the company, but just basic like human, like what would you say, basic human survival. Like what is things that you shouldn't do to survive and breathe another day, and things that you know should do or shouldn't do. It's wild. They got me fucking messing up my words here, my phraseologies, man. Just it's beyond a headache. It's beyond a headache. All I can do is just hold my forehead and just palm myself. Have you guys seen some of the comments that they're still going after Rob Van Dam? Rob Van Dam, I made that video a couple of days ago about him just pretty much saying, hey, I'd rather not be associated with that right there because, well, that's horrible and gruesome, and it's just something that doesn't really fit my aura or fit how I carry myself, and I don't want people associating me with that. Therefore, I prefer WWE. And people right now, as of a couple of hours ago, are still going after Rob Van Dam over that comment. You know, one of the worst arguments I hate is when someone gives an explanation and then you have another person who comes directly after that person and they repeat the same sentiments. And sometimes you go out of your way to go, hey, I already explained this. This is my reasoning. And then another person comes and then they say the same thing. And then another person, and then another person, and then another person. And it gets to a point sometimes where it's like, you don't even want to defend yourself. You don't even want to defend yourself, especially because the people that you're defending yourself against, these are just fucking loon bags. These people are fucking insane. They have no cognitive skills. No, how can I put this? They don't have the mental capacity to at least separate the truth from the lies, examine the truth, acknowledge the truth, and still give your opinion and say, I prefer this. I know that's the truth, but I prefer this still. No, they see the truth, they ignore the truth, they lie about the truth, and then they pretend that their opinion is correct because they lied so much to distort the truth. You know, with a mentality like this, and I talked about this in my top 7 reasons as to why AEW is gonna die, or no one should respect it, although that would probably inevitably lead to it dying, it's the fact that, like, you got to distance yourself from these fans. You got to distance yourself from these fans, bro, because these are the type of people where it's like, as Booker T is stating, like, you know, what's next? What can I do? What is the next goal? What is the next offer if this is not enough for you? You know, like, if this is not enough for you, or if you're reacting in this manner, then what am I going to have to do to top this? Because clearly I can't regress. Clearly I can't go to something as simple as taking a power bomb through a table, for an example, to write me off of television for about 2 months. That was done 30 years ago. No, I can't go through a table. I can't take a simple chair spot to the leg and, get Pillmanized, and now I have to wear a cast for about a month to build up a story. No, I can't even do that nowadays, because you got people like Jon Moxley taking back bumps on spiked bats. And when you acknowledge this, these people, they get upset with you, and it's like, okay, so what's the next goal besides a gun, besides a knife? I mean, actually, not even a knife, because you have people stabbing each other now. I mean, again, the needle through the fucking cheek. And the spike bat spot was technically a stab. You're impaling yourself. Like, eventually, it's not even going to be wrestling moves anymore. It's legitimately going to be like fucking fatalities from Mortal Kombat. And if you can't even go out of your way to acknowledge the man's point, like, you can't even read what he said and, at the very least, have a bit of a healthy conversation. Maybe not a conversation, because Booker T's never going to respond to you, but at least bring up a point. Bring up a counterpoint that people can see, engage with, and comfortably say, oh, okay, well, that's a logical consideration from the opposite side. I may not agree with the premise regarding the situation still, but okay, that's a logical take. You know what I mean? I do it all the time whenever I talk about politics, or whether I see people talk about politics. Hell, I'm subscribed to Destiny. I mean, I disagree with pretty much everything Destiny says, obviously, especially given recent events, but, at the very least, it's like, okay, it's nice to have someone from the left actually have a position that I can look at and go, oh, okay, that's pretty fucking logical. And in fact, it's nice to have those takes because it balances out my takes, and maybe there's some information that's being hidden that I'm not aware of, because you do have tribalism on both sides, and they're going to probably do something to distort the facts in order to carry a narrative, and you want someone to keep you in check. So I like that. That's why I'm subscribed to Destiny. That, and he's completely fucking batshit crazy, and therefore I like watching drama play out when it comes to him and his batshit crazy life. But that's neither here nor there. My point being is, there has to be a concerted effort from the AEW fans to look at criticism, acknowledge the criticism, and you have to take that criticism and you have to hold the people who are taking the things that are negative and putting it on the forefront. You have to look at those criticisms and you have to bring it up to them and say that, hey, we're going to reject this, either by booing it, either by not watching it, either by making your arguments and sentiments known online. Because if you actually believe that what you're doing is healthy, not just from the perspective of the talent, because the talent are stupid, you know what I mean? But at the same time, they're going to react to what you want put out there. If you actually believe, for an example, what you're doing is helping the talent because you're popping for the spots that they're doing, it's a detriment, not only to the health of the talent, but obviously to the ROI when it comes to the return on the investment as far as people actually engaging with your product. Because eventually two things is going to happen. Either A, you're going to now turn a spike bat spot into another suplex in about 10 years. Because again, when you do something so fucking many times, eventually it loses its luster. You know what I mean? You're going to turn a fucking spike bat spot into another fucking roundhouse kick or some shit. Or, which is most likely going to happen, coinciding with what I just said about losing its luster, people are going to fucking turn the television, because if this is all you have to offer, then it only, and you people never fucking take this into consideration, it only applies to your niche audience, not even your entire audience. I doubt, because there are some AEW fans out there who've seen Jon Moxley and the hardcore stuff and you reject that shit completely. They more so like AEW because of the Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega and Ricochet stuff. They don't care at all for the hardcore stuff. There are fans like that out there in AEW. The only problem is sometimes these people don't hold those hardcore fans accountable in their own fan base also. And you have these guys who are ruining you at face value as far as what you're trying to put out there. Never mind the fact that you guys are doing the exact same thing, but you're doing it more so from an in-ring component as far as the actual high-speed wrestling and all that other kind of stuff and kickouts and false finishes and bullshit. You guys are made like a match made in fucking heaven. So obviously you're not going to hold the other side accountable because you actually agree with that, even though you yourself don't prefer it. To have Booker T being chased around and attacked and, people going in the comment section and calling people like Rob Van Dam a hypocrite, even though he has not done not one iota close to what has been done in AEW outside of using a fucking chair. It's insane. It's insane. It's insane because, again, it'd be the main ones outside in regards to that camp constantly calling people out for tribalism. You know, it'd be these people consistently talking about, oh, the veterans, oh, listen to the veterans, oh, well, I'd rather listen to this guy than some random noob in the comments section. You see comments like that all the time. But when it comes back, and again, it's not even just that, it extends. You know, you see things like, stop being a misogynist, you're a misogynist, you're a misogynist. But, I mean, has anyone yet come after the Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May making out and shaking their titties constantly before the turn? Has anyone called that out yet? Don't call it out. We need more titty shaking, but has anyone called that out on the AEW side? Wrestling is fun when women shake their titties. But, you know, when NXT parades their women around half naked all the goddamn time, which I fucking love, by the way, it's, please, you guys need to focus more on the wrestling. Oh, you perverts. Oh, God, you perverts. No one's consistent on any of this when it comes to that side, just as much as they accuse other people from, you know, the opposite side of doing the same thing. The only difference is your company is in any position. They're not in any position to have that big of a head to think that they can, you know, approach things in a similar manner compared to WWE. Like I said, and I'll keep saying it again, I'll never not support AEW because even though people may hate the company, and honestly, I dislike a bunch of things that they're currently doing at the moment too. I can never see myself saying that I'm okay with WWE being the only game in town. I may make jokes about it. Hell, I may even spaz out and say it out of anger, but wholeheartedly, for real, hearts of hearts, no. I don't want nothing, anything, regardless, happen to AEW. They need to be around to hold WWE accountable. Even if they don't do it, it's just nice knowing that there's an option that can maybe potentially eventually get their shit together and maybe one day hold WWE accountable for the dumb shit that they do sometimes. But if you consistently go out there and you want the talent to do what they do to themselves, and you have double standards when veterans call this bullshit out, and you say it's only cool when the veterans call out WWE, you're doing nothing but you're just a plague and a detriment to your own company. And the fact that Tony Khan just sits back and he just lets this shit fly by, and you know, he sees what's going on, and he just enables his I mean, he even gives his fan base a name, the Sickos. He just enables it. It just tells you all that you need to know. You know, there's nothing that you can say to change a mark's mind when the mark is being guided by other marks, and the marks that are being guided are guided by this mark, and they're just in a love infatuation triangle, but they happen to be the second biggest wrestling company currently in the world right now, and it's foul, bro. It's foul, and it's feral. Absolutely fucking feral. But let me hear your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to what Booker T said. I mean, I don't see what he said that was wrong. Holding talent accountable for the dumb shit that they do should be something that should be carried out in any occupation. You do something wrong, or you're double working. In this sense, I feel like this is more akin to double working, because if you had a simpler way to pop an audience, no different than a simpler way to do your job correctly, then work will be a hell of a lot more efficient. But when you're, for an example, using a screwdriver to, I don't know, hammer in a nail when there's a hammer right there, I mean, maybe the screwdriver might do the job, but you probably might want to use the correct tool for, the project, because, that's what they were made for. Just like professional wrestling. You might want to use the tools given to you by the people who paved the road for you. So, you can actually have an audience and retain an audience and make more money for you and for future generations, and, keep the business alive. But hey, who am I but just a lonely mark sitting in the audience and giving my opinions that apparently people hate also. But like I said, thoughts, comment section, let me know. As always, my name is Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces, P, Ice.